when you're moving from place to place, place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning by speaking with Mr. Kevon McKenna, and he's the Business Development Officer at the Tobago Agri-Technology Services Limited. And this morning we're talking about Tobago Agri-Tech and Innovation Summit. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adanna, and good morning, Tobago.
Right. I know people know you wearing many different hats, right? But this morning we're going to focus on the Tobago Agri-Tech Summit that is upcoming. We heard a little bit about this before, I think, when we spoke with Secretary Pantin. And so we want to get into the conversation as to what is the summit about? What are the key objectives of the summit? And why it is important for the average man to have some measure of information to make decisions as we talk about climate change and food preservation.
This year, the theme for the summit is resilience and adaptation in agriculture in the face of climate change. So the summit is really speaking to technology and how we can use technology in the face of agriculture to make our work easier. So it is inviting for persons such as Mr. Ronald Wood, and all farmers, enthusiasts, poetry clubs, secondary school students to come and see how, as some of these leaders, presenters, and you will have the different stakeholders, what they're doing, exhibitors, trying to show you all how we can use that technology to make our lives easier.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the technologies, and like the aquaponics and all these different types of technologies that you would see, like the basic stuff for people like me who now getting an introduction into this?
I'll give you one. One of the things that we are focusing on is the drone technology and how you can use that to monitor the health of your crops and using your cell phone. All right. So that will be one of the key focus points to show to farmers this is how you can do this. All right. What we will be focusing on as well, we will have persons from all the loan facilities. So you will have persons from Republic Bank. We will have persons, I think, from ADB coming there. So you're not just giving you the technology, but we're also showing you where you can go, speak directly with those persons to see how you can move yourself forward. Because we know in the farming industry, persons may be a little bit reluctant to push themselves. So we are trying to push them for you, and that is what the Agri-Tech Summit is about, and the tags company is going to be dealing with.
All right, and I know you mentioned the different types of support that will be coming in there to put the summit together, because while you learn about the technology, we want to talk now about investment and all these types of things. You were talking about sometimes farmers being a little bit reluctant, and I suppose because that measure of support isn't there. So this summit for me is a welcomed situation for them to get that information one, and the other agencies who would lend a measure of support in terms of getting it off the ground. This summit is primarily for farmers. Is it for like a new farmer? I now started and just got my farmer's license. I've been farming for 25 years. Who is it targeted towards?
Any level. Even if you have not, if you're just thinking of becoming a farmer, you can come to the summit and see how we can help. Right, there will be different service providers, as I indicated, from the Division of Agriculture. The Secretary will be bringing out her whole entourage, to ensure that you have the full access to information. So, Mr. Ronald Wood, you can learn better technologies. Is eggs, when you are processing eggs, so how we can get eggs faster, and also feeding the animals, the chickens, keeping them healthy. He gets upset
so we're
every time
talking
I come here and
we're talking about animals as well as plants. So it's farming that covers
everything.
All types of agro. Well, that is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
When is this summit taking place?
Well, the summit is a 3-day event. We're approximately 1 week away. We start with a Juve. We have teamed up with Modern Mother, Mr. Dwayne Selassie and them. So we start with a Juve in the Le Estate, that is Goldsboro, Pembroke Park. And that we are featuring, of course, the Tobago reigning Soca Titan, Mr. Verse, all the way from Roxborough. We have joining him is Queen Adanna, And we have Ding Dong from Trinidad. Our DJs include King Legal, 3D and Snoopy, Matty, Poison Songs, and Madman Ish and Father.
May I ask, I mean, I know it's a 3-day event. Why, I'm trying to figure out, how did you come up with this, the Juve part to start it? Like, how do you tie that into the summit itself to ensuring that you achieve your objectives?
I think from the team's perspective is we trying to do things a little bit different and also to make things a little bit more exciting. So we don't want, while we're doing the summit part, we don't want to make it too, all right, it's just this content heavy. So we said we'll start with a little Juve, where we'll get to immerse persons in the Tobago's culture. So it's chocolate and mud, and that's why we're using the Cocoa Estate. So you get that Tobago experience. And then from the Monday and the Tuesday, we head to Shore Park complex, where you now go into the educational element, the financial element, and learn. And then, of course, you'll have the closing ceremony at the iconic Pigeon Point Heritage Park.
So when you're talking about immersing in the Tobago culture, is it that this is open to farmers from Trinidad as well, or is it specific to Tobago?
Open to farmers from Trinidad. We have been in contact with persons from St. Vincent because the secretary led a team recently to the St. Vincent summit there as well. So some invitations have also gone to St. Vincent. It's open to anyone in the Caribbean that wishes to come. I think by this week someone else will come on and start to give you the other parts in terms of the speakers and if any minister coming from different countries and that kind of stuff. So it's open, fully open. You can get your tickets. I
was just about to ask, because something like this, I mean, with what you're talking about, the content you're packing into this, there must be a fee attached, you know?
Yes.
So tell us how people could get tickets, the cost and stuff like that.
A small fee. I know the Division of Education, they have agreed to sponsor 4 secondary school students per, all right, so that's 4, that's 36. All right, so they get a easy in, but it's a lot of work. Come enjoy, and also we have some other sponsors coming on board. Tickets are available on Island E, or you can simply go to the Division of Food Security and just ask for the tags office, and you'll be able to purchase your tickets there for the summit as well as the chocolate and mud.
Right, and are you able to tell us what the fee is at this point in time, the cost? Or when we have further conversations, we'll be able to finalize that. That's all right. That's fine. You know, because I'm thinking that there's so much going into this. For me, education is very, very important. And when you get new information, as I mentioned before, you can now rearrange. Let's say, for instance, a farmer who is producing only 50 eggs a week, right? With the technology that you're bringing in, the information as it relates to the technology, they can now produce, what, 150, 200, 300? Correct. The capacity can increase based on the knowledge that...
So I would plug, if Tobago updates, they can sponsor Mr. Wood, right? So that we can get an improved eggs, the amount of eggs we are getting a week.
All right. Okay. Well, that's a consideration there. I mean, you know, this song's so well put together. What kind of capacity in terms of numbers are you looking for, hoping to participate in these summits?
Well, we are using the Shore Park complex, which can hold almost over 3,000 people. So we ain't full yet. Right. And we're going to keep adding accordingly, and if anything, we'll just beg Shore Park for more space and reallocate as needed.
And in terms of the rollout of the summit, is there going to be like hands-on? Are you going to be interacting with the technology, or is it just a notepad and a pen? How is it?
No, that is the good thing about it. So as you said, you would have the exhibitors. So when you come in and have the exhibitors, so they will be doing their live demonstration, and then you would also have your main presentations, and then there would be breakout presentations where you get to interact directly with the person with the further live demonstration. So everything is going to be hands-on. So it's not going to be only just the cliche sit down in a classroom and learn.
Right, and is it kind of going to be like on a rotation basis? So for instance, when you have your breakout rooms, if you have somebody doing animal and somebody doing plant, I don't know what the terms are. Is it that I can go to whichever workshop I'm interested in at that point in time and rotate and go to another one? Yes. So it's a kind of inclusive type rollout.
Yes.
Which
so as I'm saying, all age groups, even if you are not a farmer yet and you're just inquisitive, feel free, come and see what is on the table and what is available to you. And as I said, the financial institutions are going to be there, so they can guide you and say, okay, we can help you with this startup loan, or bring this to us first and foremost, and we get to move. And you also have the division there to help you from the division side. TADCO would be there. because we also are the intermediary, the middleman for the farmers.
Right. Sounds very, very interesting. And we're talking about a closing ceremony here. Tell us a little bit about the closing, what we can expect. Is it going to be like a conclusion as to what happened during the 2 days, or how does that look?
Well, the closing event would more be, I think, a little softer. Our persons will get to reflect on what they have learned and see what, as a way to pull some information from persons to see how we can do better the following year, because it's not going to be a one-time thing. All right, if we want to really push the technology, we have to start from now, and then during the year we have to see how much farmers we can get on board to start to use the technology. And then next year, of course, if you come back, or the following year, then we see, well, we'll be able to have empirical data to say this, I have been using this technology, it really works for me, and as a result of that, I used to produce 50 eggs, 50 crates of eggs in a month, and I can now produce 150, right, Mr. Wood?
In terms of follow-up, how do you assess whether or not the farmers were able to use the information to bring results in their farms?
Right. So that is why we have the division staff there, as well as the companies, as well as the tags staff, which I'm part of. So we would then do some level of following up with the farmers to see how they have integrated this technology into their farming.
Absolutely amazing, because you need the checks and balances to ensure that the program.
So we're not just going to do the summit and just leave it and leave it. No, it's going to be a process. We're going to follow up. We're going to get Mr. Ruston Wood working, check with him whether it be every 3-4 months, produce reports, and then we know. So we're going to be using him as a sample.
Right. In terms of how many persons have already registered, because you said, you have this capacity, you have this big space where you're going to have your little breakout rooms. Let me not say little, where you're going to have breakout rooms so that people can engage with the technology and understand. How many persons do you have so far? I know you want to go full capacity, but what has the response been so far?
I think so far we have reached over 200 registrants, and we are going to keep pushing that until, right? So someone will come on, I think tomorrow, either tomorrow or Wednesday, and they will now go into the registration, the breakout rooms, the topics, the speakers, just to give some information there.
When you said 200, I don't know, I was off camera, but I was shocked, because I didn't expect it to be that many registrants, and I'm happy to know that people are coming in to register. I don't think you might have the details now, but in terms of how many farmers we have in Tobago, I think that is a big number, and I know it's open to Trinidad, the Caribbean region.
So you will get the mixer. You'll have the farmers, you'll have the fisher folk, you'll have the secondary school students, you'll have some university students, you may have some general persons just looking for farmers as well. So we're trying to cover the piece as wide as possible.
Well, this is amazing, and I'm really happy, and I want to take an opportunity to join with Mr. McKenna to encourage all persons who have any measure of interest at all in farming and getting the information as it relates to the technology. We see the way the world is going now. Technology is what is progressing, progressing in the world, and so we need to get a hand on what is happening. And so, Kevon, I really hope that you are to capacity where the event is concerned for the both days, and also for your pre-events and your closing events as well. I really want people to come and engage with what is made available, because I believe that when you put effort into something, you kind of want to see people coming and enjoying it and benefiting from it. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us where the summit is concerned?
Just to keep up to date, follow us at tags.gov.tt. That's our official website page, and also on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date.
Absolutely amazing. So this is coming from the 1st to the 3rd of December. The summit is taking place at the Shore Park Complex. The actual teaching is taking place there at the Shore Park Complex from the 1st to the 3rd. You can register. Remember, you can call, or you can follow them online at tags. Say the email again for me.
Facebook, the email.
The contact that you just gave us.
Or tags.gov.tt.
Tags.gov.tt. You can get information there as well, and look out for tickets to become available for you, your friend, your neighbor, somebody who might have some little interest in agro processing, agro business, agro farming, anything as it relates, even fisher folk, I was just informed as well, will be taking place there. So be a part of it, get the information, and be better able to manage your farm. Thank you so much, Mr. McKenna, for coming on this morning and bringing the information to us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.